Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 495 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy urged US President Joe Biden to invite Ukraine to NATO now, even if Ukraine becomes a member of the alliance after the end of the war, reports Suspilne. In an interview with CNN, Zelenskyy said that Biden is the person who makes the decision whether Ukraine will be in NATO or not. The president of Ukraine stressed that an invitation now would be a huge motivator for Ukrainian soldiers. Zelenskyy added that he understands that Ukraine will never be in NATO before the war ends. The president also said that the ultimate goal of Ukraine under his leadership is the liberation of Crimea, and only then will it mean that the war is over. And Zelenskyy will not consider peace without Crimea a victory, reports Radio Liberty. In his evening video address, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy stated that unfortunately Ukraine does not yet have enough high-quality air defense systems to protect its entire territory. He informed that the enemy is taking advantage of this. For example, yesterday Russia launched another terrorist attack on the city of Sumy with Iranian drones, hitting residential buildings and the building of the security service of Ukraine. Media reported about at least 2 people who were killed and 19 wounded. Zelenskyy promised that Ukrainian authorities will do everything possible and impossible to make the country's air defense system the most powerful. The president informed that during the war, air defense of Ukraine shot down more than 3,000 air targets, more than 180 aircraft, more than 130 helicopters, near 40 ballistic and more than 1,000 cruise missiles, more than 1,600 drones of various types. All this means thousands and thousands of lives saved by you, hundreds of critical infrastructure facilities that you have protected, said Zelenskyy, addressing the air defense. The Ukrainian president addressed the situation with the former Georgian president and Ukraine citizen Mikhail Saakashvili, who is detained in Georgia and whose health is quickly deteriorating. Today, the world once again saw how the Kremlin, unfortunately at the hands of the current Georgian government, is killing Ukrainian citizen Mikhailo Saakashvili. Human life is of the highest value and we cannot allow Mikhailo to be simply killed, said Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He had instructed the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine to summon the ambassador of Georgia to Ukraine to express protest and to offer him to leave Ukraine within the next 48 hours to hold consultations with his capital. Once again, I call on the Georgian authorities to transfer Ukrainian citizen Mikhailo Saakashvili to Ukraine for the necessary treatment and care, said the president. Spokesman for the Eastern Group of Forces Serhiy Cherevati informed that Russia has deployed over 180,000 troops to the Liman, Kupiansk and Bakhmut fronts, Donetsk Oblast, reports Ukrainska Pravda. There are around 50,000 Russian troops on the Bakhmut front alone. This includes air assault and mechanized units, units of the Bars Combat Army Reserve, territorial forces and new Storm Z assault companies that recruited people with criminal records. Meanwhile, commander of the ground forces Alexander Syrsky visited the Bakhmut front and informed that there is a threat of an offensive towards the city of Chasiv Yar. According to Syrsky, both sides are trying to seize the initiative in order to turn the situation in their favor. The enemy is desperately clinging to positions and strongholds that were formerly occupied by Wagner Group fighters. Events unfold and change very rapidly, with some positions changing hands twice a day, added commander. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius announced that Ukraine will shortly receive Leopard 1 A5 combat tanks, reports NVUA. He added that dozens of these tanks provided by Germany and Denmark will arrive in Ukraine in the next few weeks. The minister reminded that Germany is the second largest provider of military equipment in Ukraine. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kuleba, said that one of the countries promised Ukraine to start training Ukrainians on F-16 fighter jets last month. But due to an error in calculations, this did not happen, reports European Pravda. Kuleba admitted that earlier he was confident that Ukraine would receive the fighter jets in the first months of next year, given that F-16 training was to begin in June, but training did not start in June. This means that the schedule is starting to shift. We are now working with all the parties involved, with all the countries participating in the aviation coalition to speed up this process as much as possible, he said. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We are a commercial initiative of just two people and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.